Good evening, people. Welcome to Born and Late. We were sort of arguing and debating who's gonna host the show. Welcome to Chip and Cheen. The name of the show is Chip and Cheen. Chip is here. Cheen's maybe is gonna. Oh, he's in the building. Here we are. Here we are. Flip me now. I know how you guys feel. Hurry up. Is this guy trying to tell us about time management and timekeeping? Bloody hell. You're supposed to
What
be
a
on the show
troll.
today from Turkey. So he said he's going to make his way back to the hotel, but here we are, 12 minutes in. I'm still waiting for him. He's still got the link. I'm sure he has. Well, welcome all. A nice little 70 people have trickled in very, very early. There was a few more of you, but probably got pissed off and went. But it's been I think it's been a quiet day today, depending on going by what's been happening for the last 4 or 5 days. Avi, you made a little cameo appearance yesterday, but Klopp was 15 minutes late as well. He's been on the beach. Players have been on the beach this week. God knows what's going to happen on Sunday afternoon. So we'll talk about the game later on. We've got an important game against Arsenal and the Guard of Honor. But how are you, my brother? Everything good? Looking always suave as you are, especially after coming back from Vegas.
Don't know what you're after, Asim, but
I'm after maybe a bomber.
Bomber. Everything's good. Everything's good. Yeah. Yesterday I did come in for literally like 5 minutes, and we quickly skimmed through some of the news, transfers, and whatnot. Yeah, it's been good. The boys, the players are obviously on the razzle and whatnot. Slot rather than Klopp have been on the beat. I'm looking forward to the Sunday game, Asim. I think it's a game that it'll be nice if we can get a win against Arsenal. I think it'll be like the sort of icing on the cake, if there's such a thing, after winning the 20th, our 20th title. But it'll be nice if we can get a result over Arsenal, because they've been for the last couple of years, all we've heard from their fan base is Arsenal are on the cusp of winning the title. Next season will be ours. City will have a drop off. But lo and behold, they didn't expect us. They didn't expect us coming up that tree, coming up the league table as they envisioned. So it'll be nice to get one over Arsenal. I'm sure they'll be reeling from Paris midweek. So it'll be nice just to get the one up on them, because the couple of times in the last few seasons that we've played at Emirates and Anfield, they've been the better team. They have been at the better side. We were kind of fortunate this season at the Emirates to get the 2-2, but it'll be nice to put on a performance similar to the one that we put on against Spurs.
Bilal, you must have done well yesterday. You got another call up tonight. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Alhamdulillah, I'm good, man. It's been such a quiet day that you thought Klopp was our manager again.
I didn't even realize I said Klopp. I'm sorry.
But yeah, just following on from Abby's remarks, I'm looking forward to the Sunday game. I think it's a game for both teams for different reasons. They're going to want to put out some kind of statement, and I just want to get a W. I want to get a win. We haven't beaten them for 2 seasons now at home, so we're overdue a win. I think the fans will like it. I think we need it. And the Guard of Honor, I think we have to back it up.
You think we're going to back it up? We've been on the beach. Every time I go on Instagram, there's a new Liverpool player, chilling out. God knows where they've been, but they always look at sunny places to me. McAllister was on the beach. I think Soboslai was. Ibu was.
I think it's kind of weird, Asim, because we've wrapped it up very early. It's just a procession now. We're waiting for that parade now. We've done the sort of obviously the league trophy lift against Palace. We've done the sort of celebrations against Spurs, which the highlights, if you haven't guys seen, there are full highlights on the YouTube on the LFC channel. It's worth seeing numerous times over and over again. I think it's like this little long procession now with 3-4 games to go. It's just sort of gonna drag out, and I don't think anyone cares about the results. But I do think everyone will have an eye on this Sunday game, especially against Arsenal. And I think the majority of fans, I think 99% of us,
I think we'll play better. We'll play better than the Chelsea game. I don't think we'll see as many changes. And I think that the party mode or the alcohol, and some of our players do drink, I think that'll be out of their systems by now fully.
And
so I remember the Man City game.
And
the Man City game, we struggled a lot when we won the league, and we were all over the place. So we should be better.
4-1 or something, wasn't it? Emirates.
4-0.
4-0.
Yeah,
There you
4-0.
go. Asim, I've lost my train of thought now.
I want to ask you, Avi. You said I think you don't. It's a bit of a procession. You're just waiting for the end of the summer now. But the manager mentioned, I don't know if you caught the presser today, Avi, about how much he's looking forward to seeing Bradley play. I'm told that he makes a few more comments as well, which will get released just in about 10, 15 minutes after the embargo section is released. I think it's 10:30 today. But I think it was important, Avi, that he made that call right in the presser. The moment, and he's been, batting away, deflecting away questions all season about the contracts, and especially talking about Trent in the last 2-3 weeks. But the moment Trent has come out publicly and said, "I'm leaving," then he's made the call and said, "You know what? If you're leaving, fine. Here is my right back in Connor Bradley." And I put a tweet out about a week ago after the video. I think it's been about a week ago, hasn't it, since the Trent one? And I said, I'll be really disappointed if Trent gets any more minutes. And maybe just judging, that tweet after the week, I wouldn't mind if Trent gets like 10, 15 minutes off the bench just to protect Bradley and his hamstrings over the course of the summer and the next month or so. But I would have been disappointed if he starts, if I'm really honest. We know where his future lies. So why is he starting? What's the benefit that we can get? But I think he made a statement, and he made a big statement today by just coming out with that. And now the fans know where he stands. But tell me what sort of reception, Trent, you think is going to get come Sunday afternoon.
I think first and foremost, Asim, the fans will be just about the team, and the ones that are here for the future, for the foreseeable. And Trent doesn't come into that. Sadly, he's made his mind up. He will be, if all formalities get signed up, and all the contractual stuff are agreed as we think they are. He will be a Real Madrid player sooner rather than later. I might want to add. I think the reception it will just be purely, I think the fans will only care about the club on Sunday. I think we'll be, we'll be giving Arsenal full of it. We'll be bantering with one another. I don't think the emphasis will be on Trent so much. There is, for me, Asim, the way I see it is, I would be very surprised if we see Trent Alexander-Arnold kick another game of football. Kick another ball.
Wow.
At Liverpool FC. Yeah, I think Slot's words.
You think he's not even going to come off the bench? You think he's not going to be in the
I
squad?
think we may see a little cameo, a farewell cameo against Crystal Palace. But again, I think the club, I think the manager will gauge that. But I think we won't see Trent Alexander-Arnold again. Once you've made your feelings clear, you've done the press release, you've done a little video of pictures of you as a young kid and whatnot, and try to make it all emotional. I think you've sort of you've burnt your hands there. And he's tried to do it where he thinks the most respectful way. We as fans think otherwise. The majority of us think otherwise, and some of us are, still sort of reading that he's going to be going on a free, £100 million player, pretty much going on a free. That's a bit sickening. But yeah, I'd be surprised if Slot includes him, because look, he won't be here next season. We've got to plan forward. We've got to see where Broadley's body's at as well, even through the summer, even through preseason. Before we make a decision whether to add another quality right back, or maybe making some makeshift changes throughout next season, whether it's Gomez staying on or whether it's shifting another player in that position, which I don't ideally want to see. I do want to see two quality right backs, hence I do feel that we will be in the market. But as of Trent, I wouldn't play him again this season.
Okay, you mentioned that he did it in the most respectable way. A question for you, and I'm coming back
in
to
his
you.
eyes. In his eyes.
Okay, I want
According
your
to
eyes.
Trent,
I want your eyes.
according to Trent, he thinks that he did it the most respectful way. In my eyes, Asim, I don't think there was a situation where he could have made it better for himself. I think what
Stop there.
Okay.
If there wasn't a Club World Cup, do you think Trent
Exactly.
would announce and do that video after the Palace game?
I think he would have. No, I for sure think he would have waited till the Palace game. But
if there wasn't a Club World Cup,
but there's two things here. Just put the Club World Cup on the burner for a second. What he experienced against Spurs at Anfield, where the fans were just celebrating the title, and it wasn't anything about contracts, it wasn't anything about Trent. That's the best way it's going to be for him. That won't be bettered. Anything now, if he comes on the pitch, there will be boos, and people will be in all their rights to say that he deserves the boos and whatnot. Nothing will better the Spurs game at Anfield for him because he was
Yeah.
celebrating with the fans. The fans were as passionate. They were like singing about him. They were chanting Trent. The only scouts in our team. That will not be bettered now in the rest at the rest of the season. Yes, the Club World Cup is around the corner. Apparently, it's going to be held in the States. I think Real Madrid obviously want to conclude that deal, so he's available for that. Hence, they need him. But yeah, I think if that wasn't going on, I think he would have waited after the Palace game, maybe a few days after the parade. I don't see him at the parade, and I certainly don't see him kicking another ball at Liverpool.
Wow, Bilal, do you see Trent at the parade, and do you think he deserves? Avi's talked about he got his Spurs moment, he got his Leicester goal, which obviously he created himself. To be fair to him, and took his shirt off and put it on the corner flag and whatnot. But he got his moment as part of the title run. Then he got his, although he did get a few boos as well at the Spurs game. Let's not forget, but it was a real small minority. But do you think he deserves one more moment where he comes on and gets a big ovation? Generally speaking, do you think he deserves that?
It's not about deserving. I think because of Conor Bradley's physique, because of his fitness issues, I think we're going to see Trent. Depending on the scoreline, regardless of the league being won, I think the slot is still going to look to win every single game. Conor Bradley won't be able to last 90 minutes. So unless he plays someone like Jones right back, I see we're going to see Trent come on for 10, 15 minutes, wherever it is. If it wasn't for Conor Bradley's fitness issues, it could well be that Trent might not come on again. So I definitely see him playing further part of this season. As for the parade, I think he's going to be there. I think he's 100% going to be there because the gloss shouldn't be taken away from the team and what it's achieved this season.
But Billy,
And
is Billy just interrupt? Is there not a case of where Trent himself might be protecting himself and where he doesn't want to maybe come on and maybe injure himself? And he has picked up a couple of injuries in the last 18 months or so.
That's not his
And
decision, though, is it, Avi?
that's unacceptable.
Why
Abby,
is
that's
that?
unacceptable.
That's refusing to
That's
play.
refusing to
it
play.
wouldn't surprise me with the way things have been conducted, Asim, if he says,
Then he shouldn't even be in
"I'd
the
rather,
squad. He
I'd rather
shouldn't even
not,
be in the squad.
I'd rather not play because I do want to,
If he
I
makes
do want to move to
that
Real
clear,
Madrid before the 1st of June."
if he makes that clear, he absolutely shouldn't be in the matchday squad whatsoever. Look, an inside training video apparently he wasn't there. He wasn't in the photo shoot, so they've made that clear to him.
He did
And
train though. He did train though.
I'm not going to stop the fans from feeling how they are. If they want to boo him, they have a right to boo him. They're match day going fans. They're passionate. Those who pay, those who are even sitting at home, wherever they feel, I will never say anything indifferent to them. They're allowed to feel how they want. Yeah, I wouldn't take it as far as threats and disrespecting behavior and swearing at him. I wouldn't go that far. But if he's refusing to play, we're gonna have to let him drop him. We're gonna have to let him know. And also, I know Asim didn't ask, but we mentioned this yesterday. I would absolutely not sell him to Real Madrid to help them win the World Club Cup. Because as we found out yesterday, that's 100 million. The winner gets about 100 million pound, 100 million euros. Why are we going to help Real Madrid potentially bag that money? And we have to act like a big club. Over 800,000 pound, we shouldn't grovel before them. We should make a stand and say, no, you're here.
Avi,
You're a club player. You're going to stay here. You're going to see out the remainder of your contract.
thoughts, Avi? Would you take that at whatever it is, 800 grand or £1,000,000? Would you take it?
Act like a big club,
it's
man.
kind of taking the piss, isn't it? That that we would accept 800,000 million. It would actually be a kick in the teeth, even more.
What would you do?
I wouldn't sell him in that time period. I would literally just say, see out your contract, mate, till July. Is it July?
If you don't sell him, then everyone wants the vibes not to be spoiled. So on one hand, you want the vibes there, and then on the other hand, you want him still around.
As in the celebrations at the parade are going to be magnificent. It's going to be something out of this world experience, with or without Trent. Trent Alexander-Arnold will not be at the parade. I can almost guarantee that for you. Whether that move has been concluded to Real Madrid, I don't know. But I promise you he won't be there.
I think he will be there.
No chance. Of course he will be there. And just to come in quickly, if we want to kick him out and if we want to show force of hand, not because of £800,000, but if you want to say, listen, you want to go get out of here, then let him go. But if you're doing it because you're getting a measly £800,000, look, for us working people, it's a lot of money. But for a football club and for what it means, Liverpool are European royalty in their own right. They shouldn't be groveling before that much money just to let him go earlier. And we
Avi,
shouldn't be
what I said
helping.
yesterday, that the main thing for me is you need to do what Bilal said about acting like a big club and having a mentality of a big club. Us doing like a farewell interview with him at the end of the season, I could have probably got that, and give him an opportunity once he officially goes out the door. But he announced his video through his own channel and through his own socials, and then came to Liverpool to basically said the same thing.
Do you
And
think? Do you,
for
Asim,
a
do you?
player who I believe
But do you
has
think
money,
Asim?
sorry,
Asim, do you think he's told the club that I want to go before the Club World Cup? Hence, he had really. Hence, the video was released.
Yeah.
Because there's no way the club has said to him, release the video.
I
You've got
think
our
he has.
blessings.
I think he has.
Yeah. That's what I
I
mean.
think he
That's
has.
why I say that he won't be. I don't think he'll be at the parade because we're saying the parade's on the 26th. The tournament starts on that Saturday.
Yeah, that's why I posed a question to you, Avi. I think if that tournament wasn't being played early in the summer, I think he would have just
Then after
kept
this
it.
end of the season,
Yeah,
yeah.
and a bit like Mane did. That we knew he's going, but he didn't say. Oh, Bobby didn't even say. Oh, we knew he's going,
Yeah.
and Bobby, to be fair to him, wasn't even chatting to any club. That's how professional he was and how much respect he had for Liverpool. But I don't think he makes that move. But I think his hand's been forced. Maybe just like his hand was probably not forced, but he had the knowledge of the 20 million pound bid in January. A lot of people had there was a consensus amongst the Liverpool fan bases. There's no if Real Madrid, the club that you want to go to, is going to put a bid in for you for 20 million pound, and you don't have any knowledge of it, I don't believe that.
Was there a report going around that he knew about the bid being tabled in January just before the United game at home? I'm not sure. But if you lot know of anything, was there a report? Is that what Joyce mentioned this week that his head was all over the place?
I saw a few
Something
quotations
like that.
of
Yeah.
yeah. I
His
saw a
head was
few.
definitely turned. That was his worst game of the season by far, for a couple of seasons to be fair. And his head was definitely turned. But look, at every opportunity, Trent's just making this worse for himself. And to be honest, I'm tired of speaking about him. I say just
Yeah.
put it to bed, forget it. Whether he plays, whether he leaves, whether he goes, I don't really care. It's about the team, it's about the players staying, it's about the manager. Nothing's going to dampen the celebration, nothing's going to dampen the parade, regardless.
Okay, I think that's a good segue into the next point, Avi. Right backs. We spent more or less a full show on Frimpong since the last 24 hours. We've been linked to Vanderson. We've been linked to Wesley. By the time we get off the show, we'll probably be linked to another couple of right backs. But where do you stand? Do you think these are all smoke screens? Do you think there's genuine interest in there? To be fair to the Frimpong links, Avi, like the heavyweights when it comes to journalism and Liverpool news, whether it's Joyce, I think David Ornstein has name checked Frimpong, Fabrizio Romano has name checked Frimpong. But do you think everything else is just a bit of a like small links and this will inevitably get done, or do you think we actually do not have a clue and Frimpong is another smoke screen as well?
In my opinion, I think Frimpong is a smokescreen.
Wow.
Yeah, I think because it helps being Dutch, 24, the homegrown rule, it makes sense. But I don't think he's the answer for us at right back. I see a lot of deficiencies in his game. I think attacking wise he's brilliant. And I said it last season with him and Grimaldo as wing backs for Bayer Leverkusen when they won the league. They're probably the best fullbacks, wing backs in the whole world because of the numbers that they put up. This season, he's done decent numbers. I know Bayer Leverkusen haven't been the same, although they're second, to a very good Bayern Munich team. But he's definitely a joy watching going forward, but he has deficiencies at that right back position. I once watched a few old firm games with him and obviously the Rangers when he was at Celtic, Asim. He was brilliant. And the Celtic fans will tell you he was absolutely brilliant. But his defending there's a lot to be desired about his defending. Someone like Vanderson, you said there you go, Vanderson, Monaco Vanderson. I like him a lot. I do like him a lot. He looks a little bit like Trent as well, a little bit of Trent and that Andre of Wolves.
Yeah, stylistically, there is a bit.
There is a little bit in Vanderson. And look, there's no secret that we've been to watch Monaco a couple of times this season. Maybe Lamine Kamara. And maybe Vanderson was on the lookout as well. He's definitely a right back that I would definitely push for. Martin Fernandes is another one that I've liked at
Yeah.
Porto. But if you're giving me Vanderson or Martin Fernandes, I would probably lean towards Vanderson right now because of the games that he's played.
Okay. Bilal, have you seen much of Vanderson?
I haven't watched much of him prior to this season. I watched a few compilations. People mentioned him obviously in our group as well, and I saw some compilations on Twitter and YouTube. I do like what I've seen so far, and I've checked out his metrics. I mentioned this to you yesterday and earlier this week that some of his metrics are really good and impressive. I'm just thinking, is it the French league all over again? And
Yeah.
the only downside is he's not starting for the Brazil national team for whatever reason. And there's another player that we might speak about as well who was ahead of him. That
Who,
gets me thinking, Wesley.
Yeah. How old is Vanderson, Bilal? Do you know?
23, I think.
22,
23.
23.
I've seen a few compilations. There's been so many right backs linked, lads, in the last 24 to 48 hours. Look, I don't like judging players by compilations. I like to say proper games. Any player can look good in compilations, but I just thought I'd quickly get a bit of an idea. And what Avi said, there is a bit of Trent in him, where he's those long legs types. He cuts inside. The compilations I saw of him, that he spends a bit of time in midfield as well. So Monaco must be inverting their right back as well. I see a bit of, even when he's in midfield, Avi, I see a bit of. I'm not comparing him completely to that player. Is Fabinho when he comes into central areas, especially, and then he's got that technical ability. He looks like he can play football. And what I like about him is in those compilations where he's in wide areas, he's just not predictable. Where he comes inside and puts a whip, back post cross with his left foot as well. So I like
the two things I liked from the video I saw, he's got a bit of bite about him. He's got a bit of snap in his interception.
He's got a bit, he's got a bit of muscular stature about him as well. Fabinho was a little bit scrawny, a little bit on the slimmer side, but Vanderson looks as if he's filled out really well. And someone said he's 24. I think that's a perfect age. And the name's nice as well, Vanderson. You know, it's not one of these weird names. That's when you know what, you know me and names. And to pick footballers.
Yeah.
So Vanderson's definitely one that I would definitely pursue and see if what Monaco would be willing to negotiate. I think people were talking about 25, 30 million.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal at all.
I just wanted to compare him to Trent, and the problem with having someone like Trent and comparing him to any right back in the world, or even probably a lot of midfielders in the world, Avi, if you see that in red, Trent in terms of progressive passes, and this is my, I'm still intrigued as to which way Slot goes for with his right back. Me and Bilal talked about it extensively last night. Like if you look at that graphic, Avi, progressive passes, Trent. Like look at the amount. I think average is around about 9 passes, progressive passes a game.
Wow.
But you're never gonna get another Trent.
Breaking news, Asim Bomba.
Frimpong.
Jeremy Frimpong's release clause is split into 4 installments, with the first payment being a comparative bargain when considering the quality of the player. This flexibility allows the club to allocate resources elsewhere, particularly when with a centre back and forward also on the summer wish list.
There you go.
Frimpong's attacking
feelings,
prowess.
Yeah.
I'm glad Avi's reading this.
Can I finish? Can I finish, please?
Feelings.
Take your time. Take your time. You want a reaction as well.
Frimpong's attacking prowess as a wing back in the Xabi Alonso's 3-4-3 system at Bayer Leverkusen has made him one of Europe's most productive fullbacks over the past 2 seasons. Well, I did just mention that. In the previous 23-24 campaign, he recorded an outstanding 14 goals and 12 assists in 47 appearances, helping Bayer Leverkusen secure the Bundesliga title, the DFB Pokal, and reach the Europa League final. His numbers have dropped this season as Bayer Leverkusen endured a more normal campaign, with the 24-year-old managing 4 goals and 12 assists in the same amount of games. With the attacking focus he has under Xabi Alonso, the Anfield hierarchy considering is how well Frimpong would fit into Liverpool's system, and if they indeed want his profile at right back. He has thrived playing as a wing back in a 3 at the back formation at Leverkusen. Liverpool have yet to decide if he's definitely the type of profile they will sign. There are no doubts over Frimpong's attacking credentials. Something that I've just said. The 24-year-old is far from the only option the Anfield club is looking at, and it would be incorrect to consider the Dutchman as the main target. The club has also been looking at Monaco's Vanderson, Feyenoord's Guevara Reed, as well as SC Freiburg's Kylian Cedilla, according to reports. Frimpong's existing relationships with Liverpool's Dutch contingent could smooth a potential transition. The defender shares a close bond with Ryan Gravenberch, having played together in the Netherlands youth systems and setups, and has developed a rapport with Van Dijk and Cody Gakpo during the international camps. Frimpong also has a relationship with Curtis Jones. Frimpong jokingly greeted Gravenberch with "All right, la, you all right" in a Scouse accent during the last international break in March, going viral on social media. With Trent Alexander's contract expiring on June 30th, Real Madrid are pushing for an early transfer ahead of the Club World Cup. There is a decision to be made. Liverpool have full faith in Conor Bradley's abilities, but there are doubts over his injury record, which may mean the Reds dip into the market. While he's a strong candidate, he's not the only one. The final call will depend on how Slot wants to shape his defense, and what he wants from the right back position going forward. Frimpong would be keen on a move to the Premier League champions.
By the way, whose bomber did you just read, Avi?
Oh, Dave Cops. Why did Joyce come up with one as well? I got sent this one.
Oh my days, Avi!
That wasn't breaking news. That was like
oh my god!
He said
so
that.
There's another one.
Is Joyce?
No, I think it's the same though. I think it's the same. Come on, guys, it's the same.
Joyce just said it.
Avi, very very well read though. As soon as Avi said we're not linked, the bomber comes out.
No, but I still don't think I still don't think he will be the one. And I know Joyce, but Joyce has got a few wrong as well.
Avi, if Joyce is saying he's the leading candidate,
but we were the leading candidate for Kevin.
Asim, can you put up the comparative screen for Frimpong?
Ornstein and Joyce came out with January that we were linked with the Kvaratskhelia, but nothing came of it. You know, that we were in talks with Napoli. Or
we didn't say talks. They just said we're looking at him. That's it.
Yeah, they just said we're eyeing him up.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Frimpong is a leading candidate. I was
upset. I was upset thinking we're not going to get Frimpong. I think Frimpong covers two different positions and he can play three different roles. I think it's imperative that we get him. We need cover for Salah.
Which graphic did you want me to pull up?
Have you got one comparing Frimpong with Trent?
Saying the same thing.
Have you got one of these with Frimpong?
Fabrizio just saying the same thing, that the installments can be paid in full. He remains one of the main names on the shortlist. So there is a shortlist. It's not.
We've never played fullbacks. If for whatever reason we did for gameplay
we tried it under Roy Evans when Jason McAteer was at the club. He was a right.
No, we did. We even did it under what's his face?
Diaz played at left wing back one time, but didn't he?
Yeah. Everton when he won the penalty and he got Ashley Young sent off. I was going to say Roy Hodgson, but I meant Brodge.
Which actually we had a super chat before we carry on. Let me remove that. Bilal, we'll go back to your graphic after this. Big up Wusi LFC. Thank you very much. He says, evening guys from South Africa. Like, comment and subscribe. Question to you guys. You think the Rodrigo deal is possible? I'll go to Bilal first.
Possible? Yeah, it's possible, but I can't see anyone wanting to leave Real Madrid, especially someone of his talent. You're playing with the best players in the world. You've got a Brazilian contingent there. Trent's coming. You're probably one or two players, again, short of a super first 11. Why would you leave? Unless it's for the reasons which were sort of related to why Neymar left. You want to come outside of Messi's shadow and likewise Mbappe or Vinicius' shadow. Potentially, that could be a reason. Otherwise, I don't see him leaving because the right wing position is cemented as his own. I've heard some people say that he's a better left wing player. I've not seen it as much. The potential's there. The numbers are there. When I watch him, I feel like he's got so much more to offer, so much more to give. I never quite see it. But when you look at his numbers over the past 5 seasons, I think he's in the top 5 for GA across top 5 European leagues. I just don't see it.
You don't see it? Avi, do you see it?
He was heavily liked at Santos. And this was when he was 16 years old. So he's a player that's definitely been on the Edwards data sheet, the Excel sheet. He's definitely been on there, but he's a dream signing. If Rodrigo sort of if his intentions are to leave, I think we would definitely be one of the clubs in for him. But again, it comes down to wages. How much would he want? How much would he want?
Okay. What's
In terms of wages, like what would his salary be? I think a fee we could get him for like 65, 70 million. But his salary, it's all about his salary. But he's definitely one that I would take. He's blockbuster, and he's 22.
Is he on 200 grand a week at the moment?
Could be. But then you could expect someone like Chelsea to come in for him, or a club of like.
But the thing is, Asim, you asked if it's possible. If he's on the market, it's absolutely possible, and I can see us going for him. I just don't see him wanting to leave.
You don't want him to, I think he's with Mbappe and Vinny there, Bilal. I guess not. I guess I get the impression that this player wants to be the main man at our club. And
that's why I said the Neymar thing.
Sorry,
that's why I said the Neymar thing. Neymar wanted to walk away from Messi's shadow, and that's why he went PSG. Because
here's a question for you, Bilal.
Yeah.
We also saw reports as well that Liverpool will be sitting down with Diaz's representatives this summer. Would you take that deal? Diaz to leave and Rodrigo to come in, and then Rodrigo to play on the left?
Are you seriously asking me this question? Out of all people?
Yeah, I should have gone to you actually, Avi.
You're giving me Rodrigo for Diaz. I'll take that any day.
Any day.
I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Rodrigo. Asim. I think Bilal says sometimes the appetite, you feel that he can go so much. He can go on Vinny Junior levels. 100%.
We've got an ITK in the building. James Jenkins Burke. His agent came to us.
We had serious talks when he was at Santos.
Thanks, James.
Asim. We had serious talks with Rodrigo when he was at Santos. It wasn't it wasn't just rumors. There were serious links with Rodrigo when he was like 15, 16 with Liverpool. I think Klopp was a huge fan of Rodrigo too.
Here's a take. Jamie, big up. Jamie's in the chat. He says Diaz is better than Rodrigo.
But Rodrigo's ceiling at 22, he can go another level or two.
It's scary ceiling at 22.
And he's got it in him to go that level as well. Diaz, I think the best that we've seen Diaz this season, I think this is similar numbers that we'll see if he stays. And that's fine by me, like 16, 17 a season. I don't mind, and everyone knows that I love Luis Diaz, but if you're giving me Rodrigo, he's got that ilk to go that little level higher.
If Diaz gives one,
we're talking PFA levels, kind of Rodrigo. If he could have a blockbuster of a season.
If Diaz gives 5 to 10% more in the Premier League with GAs next season, I'll be content. Like I said, the bigger worrying issue is Jota and Nunes, but I don't want to move away from the discussion. But if Rodri's available, you absolutely go and get him. Absolutely go and get him. For that age, for what he has to offer, he can play on the right and left. I think that would be an unbelievable scoop. But I just can't see him leaving. But if he wants to, you showed the player's got big mindset. He's got balls of steel. He wants to prove himself. That's the kind of player that you want then.
Big up to Ali with the super chat. He's after you, Avi. Hold on, Avi. Frimpong, he's on his way.
He's on his way. What can I say? But there's no way that suggests that we're favourites to get him. It just says he's part of the shortlist. He's a candidate, a strong candidate.
I think if Joyce, and this is just an opinion, I think if Joyce is using the terms or the language like leading candidate, I think the Frimpong deal is a little advanced as he's playing out to be. He's making it out to be. That's just
agree. I agree. If that's the language being used, I agree. And Kirkes, I think, is potentially done as well. Those two deals look like they're more advanced than anything else.
Are done then.
And that leads us on, like we were discussing yesterday. We're going to have to find another defensive type of midfielder, a deep lining playmaker or defensive-minded midfielder, if we're going to have two flying fullbacks. Otherwise, pray for Konate's hamstrings and Soboslai's stamina and health as well.
I just don't see Arne Slot moving away from like not Gravenberg, but I don't see him going to like a Fabinho type. Even though Fabinho was decent on the ball, but just a soul destroyer for a possession-based team who he wants to control games with the ball. I can't see Liverpool.
Then I can't see Frimpong in a four. I can't see him in the back four.
But I don't think Frimpong starts for us. Generally speaking, I think Bradley starts.
And what, he comes in as what the season that he's had in the last 2 seasons? You think he's coming to play second fiddle to Bradley?
I think
No,
Bradley gets a chance.
Let's be sensible, Asim, a little bit. Come on.
No. He's got a fair point. I think Bradley will get a chance to prove himself. And I think the first opportunity, Frimpong will take it. You have to give Bradley a chance.
He does not like this deal.
I don't like it either. I think if he comes,
why do you like it?
If he comes in, I have a feeling that if he comes in, Slot will find him further upfield in terms of maybe playing him in a front three on the right hand side, which he hasn't got the skill. People say, oh, he can blitz past a player with his pace. Yeah, but there's so many more facets you need to play on the right hand side of the front three. Salah has shown you that. Frimpong isn't that guy, and I don't want a player like Frimpong to be rotated week in, week out, and being situated in different positions. He's either coming in as a right back, which I don't think he can be a solid right back in a 4, or maybe we will see transitions and see different sort of formations from Slot next season.
Okay,
I think he can.
Ali, I'm not downplaying it, bro. If you want him, I'm fully on the Ali train. If you want Frimpong, I just don't. I just think he's a great player in a great system. I don't see him playing in a 4.
Do you think? I mean, Slot has, even with Trent, I think Trent has got better defensively. Do you think Slot's strength is like working with a player one-on-one, and developing them?
Yeah, but we also saw Trent get skinned alive by Doku numerous of times. It's just because Doku's got shit production.
Doku gets past a lot of players.
Okay,
everyone.
But everyone. Forget Doku because he's hipster and his pace and all that. His defending's gotten better, but not better to a level where we think, oh, you know what, Trent defensively first, he's been absolutely brilliant this season. He hasn't. Come on, guys, he's a brilliant player going forward. And people saying, yeah, but Frimpong's got pace, this and that. Yeah, fair enough. He's got recovery pace, but you don't want to be in the Premier League. It's a different ball game. You don't want him to be using or having recovery pace time and time again each game, each week, because
I think is a huge facet. I think it's a huge facet. Look at Kyle Walker. One-on-one defending is better than Trent's and Frimpong's, absolutely, defensively. But when he gets beat, the recovery pace is huge.
Kyle Walker's got height. Frimpong he's a little lad.
No, I'm talking about pace. Strictly about pace.
No. I get that, but Kyle Walker is almost like he's got the stature. Frimpong doesn't. He's a lot taller as well. Like he's more sort of filled out. Frimpong, what is he? 23, 24?
Yeah, 23, 24. Yeah. But Bilal, you mentioned Kyle Walker, but I don't think we can compare Kyle Walker to Frimpong, because I think Frimpong will be ahead of the ball. Kyle Walker, generally speaking, is on the halfway line or just a bit further forward and waiting for that transition to either, 1, cover space, or 2, if it's a settled attack. Kyle Walker, doesn't matter what you think of him defensively, he did have a good ability in 1v1 defending. So
no. That's why I said
Frimpong would be ahead of the ball, and his carries into the box is what makes him as a player.
No, I agree with you. That's why the comparison was strictly based on recovery pace, nothing else. Kyle Walker, every other characteristic of his is better defensively, one-on-one defending, and also
Billy,
his ability to go forward.
Billy, would you take Vanderson over Frimpong?
No.
Wow. Okay.
I wouldn't. I want something different. I want something different than what we've ever had. And I believe Frimpong is a player like that. But this makes me think if they're getting these two kind of fullbacks, it really gives me hope that we're actually looking at a Baleba type player. Still there, Wharton perhaps, if in different directions slightly.
The Merseyside correspondent for The Guardian has just come out as well in his article and said, by Leverkusen's Jeremy Frimpong, who has a release clause of £29.6 million, will be of interest should the club decide to buy. So, Avi,
you can't overlook that.
At 10:30, everyone's writing about Frimpong. Is it Frimpong Day today or something?
Today's Avi Day.
I'll be very interested to see what happens.
Avi, tell me why. Why are we getting a load of journalists write about Frimpong at the same time? Do you think it's just bullshit? Here's another one. Oh, this is the same one. Sorry.
Is it John Hunter, isn't it? The Guardian. John Hunter?
It says Josh has got it as A Hunter, but probably the same one. Yeah.
Andy Hunter. It's Andy Hunter, I think.
Yeah, it might be. He might be. He writes for the Guardian.
At
And the
29, at
Observer.
29 million, you can't let this opportunity pass you. That's too good of an opportunity. Even if he comes in to play
If
an auxiliary role.
Slot thinks that he can work with the player and he can play him in a 4, then I'm all for it. But I still don't feel that I still don't feel he'd be number one target.
I think we're going to see massive improvements from him and Kirkes defensively. I think Slot not proved to be an elite coach this season. I think you're going to see more of it next season with these players coming in.
I've just texted Avi, a person I trust.
Oh, please. Yeah, we know about the people that you trust in your life.
I trust a lot of people.
He trusts you. He trusts you.
I trust a lot of people.
But Billy, he shouldn't be trusting me.
Exactly.
I trust a lot of people. And I sent him Joyce's tweet.
Go on.
And he replied, and I said, thoughts, lol. And he said, yes, the obvious one. And I said, hopefully it's a bit more advanced than that. Feels like that anyway. And he replied, yes, it will be. Make of that what you will.
That's
Make
it.
of that what you will.
You've sold me the dream now. Frimpong, Kirkes, Heisen next.
I think the homegrown rule, I think that's a massive factor. Massive.
He's coming round. He's coming round.
But
By end of the show,
I think no. I think he's an exciting player, and I did tweet last.
Bit of ping pong from Avi himself.
Avi's gonna get clipped. Zach, do your best, bro.
I did tweet last season. I was waxing lyrical over him in this Javi Alonso system. Him and Grimaldo. I would just love to see him in a 4 at Liverpool and see how he gets on. He's exciting. He's a very exciting player. He's got a good personality. He's a fun kid to be. You can tell that the amount of fun that he has. He's had some bloopers when it comes to interviewing when he was at Celtic as well. Some funny stuff on YouTube. Look, he's a player that I would definitely I would definitely get behind. I'm just not sure.
Frimpong Friday. Listen, I've not recovered from.
Don't say that. It just
I've not recovered from Fakir, man. Please.
Ash, big up, man, is arrived with a super chat. Thank you very much, Ash. Big up as always. He says, big up, guys. I don't like Frimpong deal, but I trust the nerds plan. Are we missing that Slot might have informed them that he wants a shift in setup out of possession shape, and that's why we're seeing certain links out of possession shape? I can't see it. The right back will always be right back, depending on what sort of out of possession shape you're in. Ash, generally speaking, we know we're in a 4-2-4. Out of possession, we've got man-to-man as well. Well, Frimpong will be expected to push on right to their opposition's fullback as well. So I don't see that. In my probably take on it is in possession, we'll see Liverpool pinning up opposition a bit more because of Frimpong's agility and running power to get back what Bilal was touching on, and it may allow Salah just to be a little more inside and receiving back to goal in the half space. And the good thing about some let's say we've got Szoboszlai, Frimpong, and what's he called, Salah. When Salah does go in the inside channels, Bilal, in the number 10 positions, or in the box where he's rolling defenders as well and shooting or passing, it gives the if Szoboszlai is in the right half space, Frimpong is holding width. And when he's holding width, he's in that position where he's been playing for Bayer Leverkusen. Effectively, he is a winger. So I don't see a massive shift for Liverpool, changing out of possession shape and stuff like that. I don't see that.
These guys, they're not suggesting we're going to play 3 at the back. Some of the guys in the chat, are they?
No, we're not.
I can't envisage that at all.
We are not playing 3 at the back.
I can't envisage that. That'd be a massive shock. But thing is,
could he play further field for Asim?
You know what? Sometimes, when you go into 30 minutes left, Avi, because you have to understand, this is an element of replacing Trent. Like Frimpong is not going to replace Trent, in isolation. Where Trent goes, bring Frimpong, we've replaced him. No, there will be a few more facets to Liverpool's summer transfer targets and who they bring in replacing Trent and bring him a bit more, what do you call it? creativity. And this is one of the reasons why I'm probably touch on Højsen as well. If we get Højsen, Avi, we get that build-up stability as well, where someone can play a pass into midfield. And then you got the carries as well. Bradley is not a guy who's going to put a ball into midfield, but he can carry it as well. Progressive carries are, off the charts. But that's what Frimpong gives you. But if you say he can play in a more advanced area, yes. When we go, let's say we go 4 attackers and we're chasing a game, especially at Anfield, where we play Salah up top into like 2 attackers, and we basically go 4-4-2 off the ball, and Frimpong and Bradley on the right. Frimpong is the right winger, and then he's a 4th attacker in possession as well as a 4 attackers up front. So, and when you got the 2 wing backs as well, you got 6 attackers. So you go into a 2-2-6. So I think it gives us options, Avi. And, replacing Trent, it will take 2-3, players to replace his creativity, because that's much of a unicorn type of player he was.
But then I really think we need a player like Paolo Xavi in that mold. A volume passer or a deep lining playmaker. I think we definitely need someone like that to progress the ball forward. And what do we say? The most important passer, one of the best passers in the Premier League, Van Dijk to Gravenberch. And if Grav was able to do what we expect of a deep lining playmaker and better his passing, we wouldn't have this problem.
I think just touching on Grav, Billy, sorry. I think he's going to have a great season again. I think he's going to go. Does. I think he notches. I think he goes up another level next season. Gravenberch. Wow. He's had a full season now. He knows what's expected. He had a little bit of a fall off, but that's just a slight fall off. He's had a brilliant season. Next season, I think he goes up another level.
Apparently, I've missed another super chat. Is it this one? Oh, at least second one. Frimpong is the one. Dutch pool. Hold Avi. He's after you tonight.
Ali, send a super chat every minute now. We'll be loaded for the weekend.
Avi, what Bilal's talking about is we need a player. I said we don't need a destroyer. I don't think Slot will go for a destroyer. And I'm only going for the proof is in the pudding from last season's Zubamendi, your boys' links. Stiller is that player. I think he might lack a bit of physicality in terms of covering space, but he's a volume passer. I quickly checked before the show, around 90 passes per 90. For me, that is a volume passer. But the best thing about Stiller is, Avi, on the ball, is he's not a safe passer. And we were just talking about Trent's 9 progressive passes per 90. Is it Angelo Stiller or Angelo Stiller?
It's Angelo Stiller.
Angelo.
Okay, Angelo Stiller makes around 9 progressive passes from midfield. But the caveat is that he plays a lot more volume of passes. So he's going to, be closer to Trent. Trent probably doesn't play as many passes. But the good thing about Stiller is he keeps ball retention is good. Yeah. But he's not afraid to make the pass as well, Avi.
He's a very tidy player. He's a very tidy player. Technically very sound as well. And I think we mentioned it a week ago, me, you, and Gene. He's got a hit on him as well. He has scored some worldies this season. Good player, very progressive, like Zach says. He gets around the pitch a lot. He is a good player, and I think he's been scouted throughout the big accounts throughout the last sort of year or so, and he's one of those players who's ready to leap up and go on that next big jump. He would be sensible business. Asim, I think
still is the man.
And how much? 35 million, Avi? How much is he going for?
No.
50, 60.
I think he's got a release clause, which is cheaper next year. But this season, he's going to cost 50, 60, Avi.
I'll take it. I think he's a good player. I think he's a really good player. I don't think he's as good as sort of like maybe a Zubamendi yet, but he's young. He's got age on his side.
Could Wharton develop into a volume passer? Yeah. He makes the brave passes. Could he develop into a volume passer?
I think he is. I've not checked his stats, Bilal, but I probably will do by the time we next come on. But I think he is that profile. Stiller, Wharton, Zubamendi, the similar.
Yeah, they're the three that
Wharton. If we really want to show a bit of financial muscle, I think he would be the one. But I think we would be looking at 80, 90 million. He's technically so sound. I mean, he wouldn't he would fit right in with the Spanish lads. If he was, if he was Spanish. Wharton's got that little bit of culture about him as well. I think he's a brilliant, brilliant footballer. And I think he's what's that saying, Billy? He plays way beyond his years.
Yeah.
He's one of those. He's got that little bit of like we see Fabian Ruiz, the job that he does for PSG and the national team. I think Wharton could be that guy.
Christian is in the building. Sorry, but I'll go for it.
The chat talking about, are we not worried about transition? And I touched upon this yesterday. With the recovery pace and ability of Kirkes and Frimpong, for example, it's not as much as worry as it was this season or definitely the 2 seasons before. Plus, I think Szoboszlai and McAllister will tuck in a bit and there won't be as much onus of them having to be forward because the creativity will come from the wings. And the quality of striker we have will have a massive impact on our ability to hold up the ball and retain it and take the chances when they come. Okay. Yeah, this is actually an excellent comparison. I like this one. Wharton reminds me of Carrick. But I don't know about the volume passing. If that bit ticks, then definitely. And let's hope Man United don't sign him.
Well, Bilal, we're still talking about he's coming in, he's going to play second fiddle to Bradley. But what if he plays? And although he will get shifts, that goes without saying. Look, we all hope Bradley plays 50, 60 games next season. But I think we'll all agree that it's just not going to happen, judging by what we've seen over the last 12 to 18 months, Bilal. But what if we were just reading this wrong? What if the next week or two, and I won't like it because he's a personal favorite of how he's been on the bench and how happy he is and how likable character he is. In Federico Chiesa leaves the club, and Frimpong solely comes as a sixth attacker where he gets some minutes, even in like number 10 positions as well for little cameos. And I know he's not a natural 10, but he's speedy. He can get about the pitch. He can cover Salah on the sides as well. So he might be just like a really versatile player. We all need that type in the squad, don't we, Bilal?
We do. And then that gives me heart to think that we might actually target another right back. Hence the Vanderson links as well as the Frimpong links. And we do. Chiesa's been an absolute... Look, he's a lovely guy. I've got nothing against him personally. But in terms of numbers, he's been a waste of space.
I love that Billy says, lovely guy.
Yeah, I just feel sorry for him, man. He's a very likable guy.
I do.
We all wanted it to work with the Chiesa, but unfortunately, it does seem. You know what? He's never been the same since that ACL.
Oh, he's leaving a Premier League winner. All these players, we can say whatever we want about them. They're leaving as Premier League winners. So if people want to,
no, doesn't he need to play one more game?
No, he's done it. He's done 5 games.
Just...
Even Nunes, listen, if we can get 50, 60 million pounds for Nunes, that means that realistically he's cost us 25 million over 3 years plus wages, leaving us with a Premier League medal. I'll be happy.
Yeah, okay. Look, it's just I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't be inclined to selling Chiesa, but I don't know which kind of who would even actually want him. I know
we'll get an offer for Chiesa in the summer from an Italian
easily, and we're going to sell him for a profit as well. I guarantee you that.
No, we won't sell him for a profit, but he'll probably sell him for like 10 million again.
No.
Buy him for 10, sell him for 10.
Yeah, 10 to 12 million.
Even if
it's sad though, because you want to see the Chiesa that was blistering at Fiorentina, who was doing it for Italy in the Euros, and when they won it with that finish that when it made it 1-1 against England, you want to see that Chiesa, and you feel that he can be that player. But
I'm shocked. I was saying to Vicky, I expected more. He had a decent season at Juventus last year. This year, he's not been able to do anything whatsoever. I'm absolutely shocked. Is this the case of he just
apparently that
Plymouth
game, wasn't it? Apparently that they were like, yeah, if he's, but everyone was shocking in that game.
That Plymouth game should show us a lot about a few other players as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think 100%. Unfortunately probably not going to be here next year.
Yeah, but Bilal, look, I was just playing devil's advocate. I just don't think it is going to happen because in terms of, even though he will get some right wing shifts, but I think he will come generally speaking, as a right back option. But if we bring another right back in, I just don't think it's going to happen. Especially even you heard him in the presser today that he's played Curtis Jones at right back. We've even discussed the possibility of Szoboszlai doing shifts at right back. Bajetic is coming back. He can play and do a job at right back if need be.
Homegrown too.
Bajetic.
He'll be homegrown now.
Gomez, if he sticks around, can do a job at right back, even though it's not ideal. So I think we've still got, plenty of options. But Frimpong, I think, ticks a lot of boxes. He will split opinion, Avi.
No, he will.
He just ticks a lot of boxes.
But he'll split opinion. But if he does sign and he plays for us, people will be excited. And I'm sure, I'm not giving everyone an education lesson here. Everyone knows the player that Frimpong is. And he's a very exciting player. He'll be a live wire. And he will get the crowd going. He's that kind of player. He's a good wind-up merchant as well. He's got that shithousery about him as well, Frimpong. So he'll be an exciting player if he was to.
I think he's got great energy. And look, people may not like this because there might be Conor Bradley fans, and I think he's coming in to start. I think Slot said to him, "Listen, you're going to get your opportunity. When it comes, then it's up to you to take it." Because realistically, I can see Conor Bradley getting injured within the first 10 Premier League games, unfortunately. I would love to be proven wrong, but I'm sure Slot said to him, "Son, you're coming in. When it's your chance to shine, then it's all up to you." And once he cements his place, then no one can say anything.
Avi, I want to... Okay, go for it.
No, you go.
No. Okay, we're all talking about flying fullbacks. Go on.
You nicked my question. So my question was, because you've done a lot of hosting today, and that microphone's a bit tired of your voice. I was going to say, we're talking about all the ins, but we're not talking about any outs. Let's go around the table. Pick 3 sensible options that you think realistically will leave the club this summer. Billy?
What, 3? I thought we were doing a 5 in, 5 out.
Let's do 3. That would be when Tina comes back.
Little rehearsal, yeah. Rehearsal.
Okay, three
before
right
that,
now.
Before that, listen to Fareed, man. Listen to Fareed. Get the likes in. Subscribe to the channel and all that good stuff. We hardly ask because we get engaged with the whole conversation. But please smash a like, and hope you're enjoying it. Go on, Bilal.
3 realistic right now: Nunes, Elliott, and Kwanzaa.
Ooh, Kwanzaa. I'm split about Kwanzaa because although I do think he's got a price tag, the manager does talk about him a lot. Even talked about him a lot today. Like he's good enough. He's got pace. He's not the fastest, obviously, but he keeps talking about him. Is he just trying to promote Jarell Kwanzaa into the transfer market, or does he genuinely believe that this guy can make it at Liverpool? I'm torn.
It's a weird one with him because when he first broke through, we were talking about his potential, and he had a great loan at Bristol Rovers, had the likes of Joey Barton waxing lyrical over Kwanzaa. Then he went through a little period where he made a few mistakes. The Ipswich game, we know, aerially he wasn't up to scratch the first 45, gets hooked, Konate, and the rest was history. We've seen Van Dijk and Konate forge a title-winning partnership, and Kwanzaa's just been in and out. That Brighton game in the League Cup made a few mistakes there. But I thought last week, I know the penalty for the 3rd goal, but I thought he did relatively well against Chelsea. I thought he was fine.
He did.
Again, it comes down to the homegrown rule as well.
But I feel like his general game, is okay, but he's got too many bozo moments in him.
He needs a bit of aggression installed in it. He plays the game at the moment casually. You can do that once you've hit your heights and you've actually made it. Like Van Dijk, he plays the game very calm. He's not anywhere near that. What I want to see from Kwanzaa is aggression, and getting a little bit dirty, even if it means drawing a foul, picking up a yellow. Get amongst it when there's a little bit of a tussle between the players. Be a bit nasty. I want to see that in him. I want to see like a killer instinct in him. I haven't seen it. He's a bit too much of a nice defender.
I think his confidence is shot. His confidence is shot. Every time he makes a mistake, it looks like he's self-loathing, he's self-pitying.
But he is only 21. He's still young. He needs a loan. If anything, he needs a loan to a Premier League team that's coming up, maybe a Leeds next season, and see how he does.
I want him to toughen up a bit. I want him to toughen up. Every time I watch him in like his body language, like no one's gonna have a happy face when they make a mistake, or like James says, if he's at the crime at the the scene of the crime. But it looks like he's always about to cry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it really gets to me.
He's so dark. He's a bit so dark at the moment.
Inshallah.
Yeah, he is. He needs he needs a bit of pumping up. He needs a bit of he needs to install a bit of aggression. It'll be interesting to see though. I don't think Billy's wrong as well by picking those three out. So it was Kwanzaa, Billy.
Kwanzaa, Elliot, and Nunes. So yeah, Nunes.
I'll give my two because two out of the three are very. It's the same as Billy, which is Elliot and Darwin Nunes. And the third one, I'll go with. Keep it a little bit safe. I'll go with Kostas Tsimikas.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's hard to disagree with that.
No,
isn't it?
okay, go. What you go elsewhere?
Yeah,
Maybe
go elsewhere. I
think
think
outside,
there's
think outside
another
the box
safe
a little
option.
bit.
You've said left back's gone. The
Yeah.
number 10's gone.
Striker.
Um,
There's another safe option at the
Come on,
back.
say
Well,
the king's name. Say the
yes.
king's name. Say the king's
No,
name.
no.
The Kings will
No.
get another award.
in between the sticks, safe option.
Yeah,
Kelleher? Yeah, I think
yeah.
Kelleher's gonna go.
Yeah.
I think Kelleher's gonna go. Nunes
Diaz
is gonna
Asim
go.
Diaz. Your
No.
feelings for the last 18 months have been Diaz, feeling that Diaz might go.
I get the feeling that Arnie Slot likes Diaz, Avi.
I think there's no doubt that he likes him a lot.
Yeah. And maybe I think he hasn't obviously admitted this. I think his opinion of Diaz has changed over the course of the season, Avi. I think it has. Where, he's improved. He's had a decent season. He's used him in the number 9 position as well. And he's had more confidence in him than more than Jota, more than Nunes, more than Gakpo in that area as well. So, sometimes you can probably say his versatility, and he's been a victim of his own versatility.
Yeah.
His best performances have come, but I do think, especially away from home, Avi, where especially we don't have that destroyer, we don't have that tempo controller. You need number 10s to put a shift in. You need your left winger to put a shift in, especially if we're going to play Salah, who cheats, in the defensive areas or the defensive actions. So I think we all want all these FIFA players who always get the ball, look pretty, but it's not as easy as that, especially when you go to difficult grounds. So I think in that sense, Avi, his respect for Luis Diaz has really increased. But I think in terms of the club, they're very relaxed when it comes to Luis Diaz. He's still got 2-3 years left on the contract.
2 years, yeah.
2 years.
2 years in terms of his wages, his peanuts. And we're told that they're going to have some interesting conversations. I think Liverpool still, and I'm not sitting on the fence, it could go either way with Diaz. But what I would say is they have got 2-3 players on that shortlist that they will always, not always, but they will have done some groundwork with them signings in case Luis Diaz comes to the table and says, look, I'm off, or his demands are so high that Liverpool don't think that this is worth it. Because there isn't always a chance, because if he doesn't make a move now, he'll want around 150, 160 grand a week, Avi, because he'll want a bit of compensation for the fact that he's peanuts
Missed out, yeah.
the last 3-4 years. And I think this is his last chance to probably get that big move as well. I don't think he's going to get a Barcelona move, but I think in terms of a big move to even somewhere like Saudi, because
Jota?
Saudi will Jota. I think Liverpool are relaxed in terms of him seeing out his contract. At Liverpool. Yeah,
But
he's still a
that's
guy. Is you need to have him in the squad, I think.
That's
Where-
more. But thing is, he's never available to Asim. You said that.
I know, but as a cover, I think he will be available more rather than.
I don't know. I don't want to take that risk. Look, Avi's one of Diaz's biggest fans. I'm one of his biggest critics, if not the biggest. The more pressing matter is the centre forward position. Diaz, whatever you think of him, I think we can still improve. We can always improve a position. The only position I don't think we can improve on is Konate, Alisson, Salah, Van Dijk, McAllister. Everywhere else, there's always room for improvement.
I agree with James here. Look, he's done. He offers nothing. But when you put your all eggs in one basket when it comes to Jota and you expect him to start week in, week out, he's not that guy. But if you want him to be the third striker, yeah, I'm fine with that. We're not going to get a situation, Avi, where we're going to sell Chiesa, we're going to sell Diaz, we're going to sell Nunes, and we're going to sell Jota. It's not going to happen.
No. I wouldn't mind doing Jota and Nunes leave, and we get in as if it's easy to conclude this deal.
Say it.
Isaac and Ben Seguerin of Monaco
Ooh.
as well. Again, Monaco are the academy train, it seems, but at least this Ben Seguir, I think he's dynamite. That kid, absolute dynamite. But he does occupy that left hand position, left
Abby, what
row
about
position.
Jonathan David on a free? If you get Alexander Isaac
No,
on a free
No, he's always
as a
talked.
backup.
He said if there's one club that I would never join in the Premier League, it's Liverpool.
What is he? United fan?
He's a massive United fan. His
Mm.
family and everything. Yeah. So no, but you know what? Saying that, Billy, last 5-6 seasons, he's probably been the best striker behind Mbappe in the French league.
I think on a free is a no-brainer. If you get Alexander Isaac and if you need numbers for someone who's Champions League proven, European proven, I don't think you could go wrong. Plus, he's always available.
Asim, do you think we could see Nunes, Jota, and Chiesa leave?
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
I can see that, but I don't think that's absolute max. Absolute max. But if you want me to predict, I think I think Chiesa and Nunes will leave.
Yeah, minimum.
Do you think? You agree?
I think that's possible. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see what because Chiesa is not going to be happy with 12 games this season.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not gonna be happy with that.
And Avi, with Frimpong, he's going to get even less.
Yeah. If Frimpong is seen as a front six player, I hope not, but yeah, you never know.
Well, I don't think he will be. I think he'll still be primarily seen as a right back. But I think if Frimpong comes in, because of his fitness and his...
I think Frimpong at United would be brilliant.
Yeah,
especially if they've concluded a deal for Diomande and
no,
they've got
nearly saw Bilal there.
so Salman Khan there. I think Frimpong will be brilliant with Dorgu on the other side at United, but I don't think they'll do that deal. I don't think he'll
I think Nuri will do well for them as well. As a
I'm
fullback.
shocked they didn't go for him. I'm shocked they went for Dorgu instead of him.
They should go for Nuri and Kunya.
Yeah. But let's not help them, man. Let's not give them ideas. Cunha, I would love. That's another player I would absolutely love.
Avi, we've not talked about the number 10 position.
because you know the one that I want, and people are waiting for me to say his name. Sudakov. Jorge Sudakov, man. Honestly.
Ash with the second super chat of the night.
Avi must be 1/4 Ukrainian or something, man.
Yeah, you know, I rate the player, man. I rate Sudakov.
Sudakov.
You know, you can read this out.
Ash, big up, man. Thank you very much again. Who would you replace Darwin, Jota, Chiesa with? I would go with Isaac and Kudus. I know it's unrealistic, lol. Frimpong right back, right wing shifts, covers as the sixth attacker. So he would only bring two in, which makes sense, and Frimpong cover two positions. It helps with the finances as well.
This is absolute bollocks. I tell you why it's bollocks, because I didn't rate Cunha at Atletico Madrid.
Have you mentioned Cunha too?
He couldn't score. He couldn't score with a banjo. I didn't rate Cunha up until this season. He's done really well, but I still wouldn't want him for Liverpool.
Why?
I just didn't. I didn't rate him from before when he went to Atletico Madrid. Billy, but I want to give a special shout out. I know it's Champions League and we're not in the semi-final, but a few performances mustn't go unnoticed by us. Çalhanoğlu of Inter Milan, fucking brilliant. He's revitalized himself in the last 2 years under Simeone and Inzaghi, and a former United player, but I really liked him when he was at Shakhtar and Dortmund. Henrik Mkhitaryan. Absolute workhorses at the age of 30.
How old is he now? About 82 or something?
34, 35. But Henrik Mkhitaryan, man, like what an engine on him. What a performance. Those two, especially in the home and both legs, in a game that, you know, defied tactics. And I know, Asim, you would have hated it as a tactician. You would have hated those games, but it was brilliant for a neutral football fan. It was brilliant.
You can't not mention the best midfielder.
Who? Mkhitaryan? Yeah. When he was at Dortmund,
I was gutted. I was gutted when we didn't get him.
Same. And Depay. I was gutted when we missed out on both.
No. Thank God we didn't get Memphis.
No, Memphis before his injury. Come on, man.
No, yeah, fully days.
And Abby, you can't not mention the best into midfielder, having mentioned those two, Starlets.
No, Barella will always get the plaudits, Billy. But the unsung heroes, like Chalanoglu and Mkhitaryan at their ages as well. They were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant.
To have those three midfield profiles playing for Inter Milan is unbelievable. They haven't got a recognised CDM.
And I hope they win it, Asim. I really hope. There's a nice story of PSG obviously winning it. Their new model, their new structure to get youngsters in and develop from them. They've gone past the Messi, Neymar stage, the superhero stages. It'll be nice for Luis Enrique. It'll be nice for Simeone and Inzaghi as well to finally get noticed as a top coach, because he's a brilliant coach, absolutely brilliant coach.
This lad wasn't bad as well, was he, Avi?
Dumfries.
Wow.
19. Absolutely
Wow.
brilliant. Neves, Ruiz. Oh, but Ruiz is finished. Come on, Fabian Ruiz.
What a
That
player.
was some finish.
It
And it's
was.
going to be a brilliant tie. It's going to be an absolutely brilliant tie.
I
Oh,
mean, do
you
you
know
think-
what? I got whoever Mr. Singh is. I got to give Mr. Singh a salute. My man, Amin Guri.
Guri.
From 2021, Billy will remember when I used to be on the
yeah.
previous channels. I used to wax lyrical
Amin
over
Guri.
Amin Guri.
Mm.
He's and again with him and the other fella, I'll say his name, Mason Greenwood. Amin Guri's been brilliant since he's moved to Marseille.
Ali says Asim Xavi Simons is the next one. Feelings, like you said, for Frimpong. My Xavi Simons feelings are not as strong as the ones I had for Frimpong, but he's definitely one of the players that Liverpool are looking at. Xavi Simons.
We're going full Dutch here, aren't
I
we?
mean, what do we say?
Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it 2 years ago? Hey, Asim becoming an ITK now. Well done.
We have to do a bit of clickbait, don't we?
They mock us until they become us. That's what they
Exactly.
do. Yeah, that's what
If you
they
can't
do.
beat them,
I
join
just
them.
tell you how to do it.
No. If you can't beat them, join them. That's what Asim's done.
Exactly. Now, to be fair, Asim always he stays away. But listen, Xavi Simons is a good footballer. Again, I just don't see it with Xavi Simons. Asim, I don't see it.
Okay. But do you think, I mean, if he's going to bring more creativity, it's a different profile from Frimpong. Let's stick with Frimpong. And Bradley are different to Trent. For me, that's not enough, Avi.
No, but he's not just looking at bringing in Frimpong this summer. Slot will obviously be looking at 2-3 players. Like
So you think the number 10 area is going to be addressed then?
I think we will see a progressive player in that Szoboszlai role at the moment. And I think it'll be what Szoboszlai needs as well. Whether it's Xavi Simons, whether it's the likes of Surdakov, or just those little intricate players. I don't think there's anything in Turkey. I know people, on the chat, and even you, Asim, even Gina, you love the sort of the technical ability of Turkey. I get it too. Just that work rate. Like Morgan Rogers, if Villa need to recoup money, Morgan Rogers for me in that 10 would be dynamite as well.
No, I don't like Morgan Rogers fitting in as a 10. I prefer Xavi Simons. Yeah,
Wow.
no, Morgan Rogers too much of a carrier, man. I need someone with artistry and ability to pass.
But he's still 23, but he can.
He is. But for 80-90 million, nah, I'd rather have Xavi Simons for 50,
I think that
60.
is British tax as well.
Okay. I've just got a feeling if we're looking at the likes of Xavi Simons, Frimpong, I think Liverpool could do something in midfield. But there's no point having a more creative 10, even though he's more of a Coutinho type if you're going to compare Xavi Simons to him, although he's got a midfielder's body as well. Then Frimpong's going to be on the halfway line waiting for the ball. Who the hell is going to give it? I don't want Salah coming to the halfway line, picking up the ball up. We saw that when Nunes came in that game against Man City at Leicester in the Charity Shield. It was that sort of dynamic we were seeing. I don't want to see Salah. I think Salah had a unbelievable season. I don't think he'll have this much of a season, but he'll still be our main man where we go to finish off the attack and create. So you need him to be in the areas that we saw him in this season. So I've got a feeling that we're going to bring in a midfielder who is comfortable in the deeper areas.
Talking of midfielders, I mentioned his name.
Here we go.
Not much of a bomber, but just got a little text message.
Ooh,
If
text.
your
My
device,
buddy's dead, by the way.
if your
So
device,
me.
if your device
My
is
buddy's
working,
dead.
if your device is working, so is mine. Asim.
No,
Is
my
that that
buddy's
orange-
dead, Avi. I'm
Keep
Is
an
sorry.
it the
eye
latest
out.
computer?
Keep an eye out on Mateus Fernandes of Southampton.
Ooh.
Very good player.
Keep
To be
a
fair to you,
very-
Avi, you've been
keep a
talking about him.
keep a very close eye on him. We
Wow.
liked him at Sporting Lisbon as well before he came to England.
Avi, what type of midfielder is he? Is he? Can he play at the
He's
like
an eight, he can play deeper. He's
Can he
been
play, can
Southampton's
he play
best-
alone? Can he play alone as a sole
No,
six?
no.
No.
Nope.
It would be more of a hybrid Gravenberch role, but he's a very good player. Very good player. He's
he-
one that I can see because I think there's a release clause, relegation clause, 25 million. It's a no-brainer for me.
Okay.
Yeah, 25 million is a no-brainer. Very comfortable on the ball.
Very comfortable.
There's a few people in the chat that rate him, Avi. But is he more of a Gravenberg type?
Yeah, he gets around the pitch. Asim, he's
I'd say he's more McAllister type.
McAllister, but he's got a bit of a brute of a tackle in him as well. He's got a good tackle in him.
Okay.
He's a good player. He's an industrious footballer. That's the best way to put it. He's very industrious.
I like that. Liverpool's
Wild
trying
thing.
to win, though.
He's a 360 midfielder. Yeah. Got to watch a
360
little bit more.
midfielder.
But I know that he's been a player that's been liked for a few years now.
Okay. That was a late bomber. TK, okay, that's the wrap. What a show. 1 hour, 20 minutes. We always wonder what we're going to talk about. We don't need an agenda. We sometimes don't need a host.
Billy doesn't ask for an agenda, but then he send a voice note. Boys, what the fuck's the topic today?
Yeah, because Bilal, this is their show.
Exactly.
He goes on about
We're filling in.
Machine gets the most views on weekly. He sends me screenshots. And then he comes on backstage 5 minutes before the show saying you're hosting.
Just likes that name. One day, Ash, I will tell you the secret.
Can I give a quick shout out to my
Billy, look at
cousin and friend?
Billy, look at the Asim, look at what he says. Abby just likes that name.
Sorry?
Ash's
Abby
comment.
just likes the name. How
Abby
many
just likes that name.
Fernandes does he like?
Does he like?
Go on, Billy. Roll out the whole of Slough, then go on.
Abby, just before,
Go on.
random question.
Go on.
Random question.
Go on.
Would you take Bruno Fernandes in our team?
100.
No.
Of course. What?
Wow.
Abby, be quiet, man. Behave.
Prima donna. No.
Prima donna. Chance creation is unbelievable. That
Yeah,
guy's
I get all that.
magnet.
What's he done in the biggest of
Wild
big
says
games?
yes. No.
What's he done in the biggest games?
The
Abby, what are you
biggest
talking
games.
about?
No.
All day.
All day long. Forget the Man United
World class player.
affiliation. Forget the Man United affiliation. He's world class. He's elite.
Oh,
He's
he's not elite.
absolutely
Come on, guys. If we start
What?
saying Bruno Fernandes is elite, come on. Then we've
Oh, come on,
seriously
Abby,
got-
man. Come on. Take away the Man United affiliation, man.
Avi, second or third highest chance creator in the league this season in that Man United side.
I hope City sign him to replace KDB. That's what I'm hoping for. Laugh at United fans then. I don't see it, but
He's
that'd be
29.
funny.
He's 29, 28, 29.
No, he's 30, I think.
He's 30.
Bruno is good, but calling him elite is ridiculous. Thank you, Mr. Doms Dewsbury.
No way, man. Come off
Thank you,
it,
Dom.
guys.
Good stuff,
Come
Dom.
off it, guys.
He's 30, yeah. So you wouldn't
Yeah,
take
No,
Bilal would.
the complete wrong profile for us. The wrong
Come on, man.
personality.
Why
the,
is he
wrong,
wrong
Abby.
the wrong personality to represent
Abby,
Liverpool Football Club.
Abby, he's got the name, man.
Where he is now,
Bruno Fernandes.
where he is now is brilliant. Where he is now.
Selection is in the building.
Go on, selection. Selection finally agrees with me instead of trying to diss me.
Go on,
Yeah,
Billy,
I
give
wanted to give a shout out. My cousin and one of my good old
Of
friends.
course,
My
of
cousin's
course.
an Inter Milan fan.
As long as your
Over-
shout out list is not as big as your bloody scouting list.
No, I want to give a shout out to my cousin Umar, who's an Inter Milan fan. So he's glad that he's made
Big
the
up,
final.
Umar. Big
I
up.
hope they win it. And also Naveed Navos, one of my old childhood friends. He's a United fan. His team's not doing as well, but shout out to them two brothers, man. And Saj, big up Saj.
So
Big up Chang. Big up Chang as well.
Yeah. Chang is his brother. Go on,
Chang, Marge, Viduka.
All right. I know you two are from Slough. Chill out.
Viduka, Marco Viduka. Yeah, all of them.
I mean,
all of them.
you look a bit like Viduka.
I was-
Honestly,
I was Mark Viduka.
Mark
in the
Viduka.
school days.
go on.
That's what my name
You're
was.
lazy. Always offside then, yeah?
Scored. I was a great finisher though, Asim. Chunky, chubby, but a great finisher.
I'm not
I
to
told
get
you
a
that
voice
story.
note of Marge.
We right footed.
I told you the story. We had the British boys against the Asian boys. I was playing for the British boys. We went 3-0 up. Then the Asian boys said, "Nana, Abby, you need to play for the Browns, the Indians, the Pakistanis." When Indian Pakistan relations were all rosy, I went on their side and I ended up scoring 4 goals and we won 4-3.
Were you both footed or just right?
Right. I know I had a good left ping, but my strongest was my right.
Ambipedal. What is it?
I was like
Ambipedal.
Overmars. I was like Mark Overmars back in the day.
Bilal. Could
Listen.
Abby play football?
No,
Was he
he's never
fat
saw
as
me.
shit?
Billy, because when
Listen. I'm going to clip this and I'm going to get a reaction from Marge. The
Abby,
boys who
you
played
had it
with him,
now. You
the
had
boys
it.
who played with him will answer this question.
yeah.
Go on.
Ask Marge. No. Just talk about Marge about the most memorable game we played in Wrexham School. It was that Viduka. Where I scored all
And
four.
bear in mind, Marge is one of the
Marge
best
was brilliant.
Asian footballers Slough has produced. Top 3, top 4, 5.
You know
all
who
time.
Marge was? Marge had he was a bit like Bruno Fernandes, but he had the work rate. His work rate was absolutely brilliant.
I mean,
Yeah.
you played cricket, a bit of cricket as well.
Representing Kent under 18s.
We got an all-rounder here. We got an all-rounder here, boys.
Kent under
Mark
18s.
Elam.
Carl Hooper. Mark Elam was he was on the back end of his career. Matthew Fleming. Carl Hooper was our coach. And Jimmy Adams. Remember Jimmy Adams, West Indian.
Carl Hooper, the batsman as well. All-rounder.
Jimmy Adams, the West Indian batsman, was our coach as well.
He's
Arvinder De Silva.
left-hander.
No, he's
Brilliant.
batsman, yeah.
Left-hander?
No, he wasn't. He was right-handed for Sri Lanka.
Ask him. So we got.
Rana Tunga was the left-hander.
Rana Tunga was right-handed. You're talking about Jayasuriya, Sanath.
Oh yes,
He was left-handed.
The hook shot.
Huh?
De Silva was right-handed, yeah.
Yeah. Arvinder De Silva was right-handed.
Okay.
He signed my Kookaburra bat as well.
Nice.
So ask him. We've got a footballer, a cricketer, an ITK, a man of many talents. As I have.
See what I mean?
Now we play pickleball. Now we play pickleball. Now we retired. I want to give a big up because I didn't have the opportunity. But big up Chris Eubank Jr. Man, that entrance with his dad, that boxing fight, brilliant. All the drug tests, all these cheats, Eddie Hearn, all those bastards and leeches. Eubank showed him what's up. He showed him what's up.
Yeah, man.
Avi is throwing cricket names like lotto numbers. Sangakkara was a good player.
Oh, what a player!
But you can't beat the 90s cricket and the early 2000s. You can't beat that era. I think you seem as if you were a bit of a like what would you 12th man? I think you'd be in the bringing the oranges.
I carried the drinks. Look,
you seem like a Rahul Dravid, a number 3-4, steady the innings.
No, I was more of a Said Anwar.
Wow,
left-hander.
Really
lovely left hand, wristy shots.
I was left-handed, but I opened the bowling as well, Avi.
Fast.
I was pretty nippy.
Medium pace.
Honestly, I was pretty nippy.
70s. Could you do 70s?
To be honest, I went to like Yorkshire trials, that level.
Darren Goff.
Who was it? Shane Watson. It was Shane Watson, the left hand. Was he the left hand?
Shane Watson was all-rounder, wasn't he? Australia, yeah.
Yeah, but I represented like Lord Taverners, Joe Lum. I don't know if they were around in London areas. It's like you play for the district, every summer.
I was county. I was Kent.
When you come to UK, we're going to organize a game.
We'll have an overreach. We'll have an overreach.
Listen, we need to record this cricket and football match and everything and put it up. Avi needs to back his chat now. And Marge,
Avi, I want you on the football field, Avi. First,
that's it.
Then we do cricket.
You want to see me play, don't you, Asim? You're intrigued. You're intrigued.
I want to put one on you first. Okay, people. Thank you very much. That's enough cricket. That's enough badminton, whatever you were talking about. We'll see you tomorrow. You know what? The Reds play on Sunday and we didn't even give a shit. Take care and we see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.